The Carolina Panthers are entering one of their most important seasons in years. But before a single snap is played, two of the biggest storylines on this roster come with one simple question. Can veterans bounce back? And can the team overcome another major injury? Let's break it all down, because both stories could have a huge impact on Carolina's chances of defending the NFC South. Let's start in the backfield. Just 2 seasons ago, Chuba Hubbard looked like one of the NFL's rising running backs. He rushed for nearly 1,200 yards, earned a new contract, and became one of the focal points of Carolina's offense. But in the NFL, things change fast. After battling injuries in 2025, Hubbard never quite looked like the same player. Now, Pro Football Focus has ranked him just 27th among the NFL's starting running backs entering the new season. Their evaluation points to a noticeable drop in production, fewer explosive runs, less success after contact, and a season that simply didn't resemble the one Panthers fans had seen before. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean Hubbard can't bounce back. In fact, he should open the season with every opportunity to reclaim the starting role. But the competition behind him is becoming impossible to ignore. Jonathan Brooks is finally approaching full health after an incredibly difficult start to his NFL career. The former second-round pick has generated positive reviews throughout off-season workouts, and many believe his explosiveness could eventually give the Panthers another dimension in the running game. That creates one of the most fascinating position battles to watch this season. Not because Hubbard has lost the job, but because he'll have to earn it all over again. Now let's shift to another storyline that could shape Carolina's entire offense. The future of left tackle Ike Ekwonu. Back in January, Ekwonu suffered a devastating patellar tendon injury during the Panthers' wild card loss. Since then, the organization has remained optimistic about his recovery. Head coach Dave Canales recently said the team expects Ekwonu to return at some point during the season and praised the progress he's making throughout rehab. However, not everyone believes the timeline is that straightforward. According to Charlotte Observer reporter Mike Kay, there's still a possibility that Ekwonu could miss the entire 2026 season because of the severity of the injury. If that happens, Carolina will rely on the competition between veteran Rashid Walker and first-round rookie Monroe Freeling to protect Bryce Young's blind side. That's exactly why the Panthers invested so heavily at offensive tackle this offseason. Not because they had given up on Ekwonu, but because they understood they needed options. And that's what good teams do. They prepare for uncertainty before it becomes a crisis. When you step back, both of these stories point to the same theme: competition, depth, and preparation. Whether it's Chuba Hubbard fighting to rediscover his best form, or the offensive line preparing for life without Ike Ekwonu, if necessary, the Panthers have built a roster where no single setback has to define the season. That's a very different position than this franchise found itself in just a few years ago. And it may be one of the biggest reasons expectations continue to rise in Carolina. But here's the bigger takeaway. Championship contenders aren't defined by avoiding adversity. They're defined by how they respond to it. Chuba Hubbard now has to prove he can return to the form that made him one of Carolina's biggest offensive weapons. And if Ike Ekwonu isn't ready to return, the Panthers will need the depth they've spent all offseason building. That's what makes this season feel different. Carolina isn't just hoping things go its way. It's building a roster that's prepared for whatever comes next. Now it's your turn, Panthers fans. Which storyline concerns you more heading into Week 1? Chuba Hubbard's bounce-back season, or the uncertainty surrounding Ike Ekwonu's recovery? Drop your prediction in the comments. If you're following everything happening with the Panthers, hit subscribe because we've got you covered every step of the way. More competition, more depth. Now it's time to see if the Panthers are ready for whatever this season brings. Keep pounding.